Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title of this video, I have PCOS. Just a disclaimer, this video will be long, so if you have the time to check out this video, have a seat, take a snack, listen to what has been going on with me and PCOS. If I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone for more information, just to give you the right information. Basically, what is PCOS? PCOS stands for Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. It is a common hormonal imbalance that affects about 1 to 10 women in the world. Girls as young as 11 can get PCOS. Some common signs of PCOS are no periods, irregular periods, or very heavy periods. So you're either one extreme or the other. Pelvic pain, extra hair on face and other parts of your body, acne, weight gain, and trouble losing weight, patches of dark, thick skin. Those are like main symptoms of what PCOS can give you, but there is in-depth of overall, because of your hormonal imbalances, what else it can cause. I'll get to that in a little bit with my experience with PCOS. With that said, the term polycystic ovaries means that there are lots of tiny little cysts or little sacs on your ovaries. Young women with PCOS have these cysts, but many others do not. Even if you have them, they're not harmful and do not need to be removed. A common question that people have is, with PCOS, will it affect the ability of having children someday? So the answer is yes. PCOS can cause problems with fertility, ability to get pregnant, but these problems usually can be treated. Treatment includes medications to lower your insulin level and help you ovulate or release an egg each month. If you are concerned about getting pregnant, of course you want to talk to your doctor about that. Little disclaimer before I go forth with my story. If you are a family member, a male family member, or any kind of male person, or if you don't like hearing basically TMI, you're probably going to hear a little bit of that in this video. And if that kind of grosses you out, like menstrual cycles and periods, and just click out now and I'll see you in my next video. But from now on, I'm actually going to start with my story. So when I was about maybe 10 or 11, I think I was pretty young to start it, I think, I don't know. But it was always irregular. Like from the start, the moment I had it, it was irregular. And my mom kind of caught on to that, because she would ask me 3 months later, 4 months later, 5 months later, like, okay, do you need pads? Do you need something, you know? And I'm like, no, I haven't had it. So it's been a few weeks or a few months since I've had my last one. And she'd kind of be like, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, you're supposed to have it every 28 or 30 days, somewhere around there. And I say, no, I don't. And so she was kind of worried about it. She would kind of try to figure out why, if that's normal. And my mom, mind you, a little bit of background information, she did have ovarian cancer as well. So it did concern her a little bit more that I'm not getting something that has to do with my ovaries and functioning and stuff like that. Years went by and I was the same, but I will say something I think I blocked out, because I didn't remember it until my mom told me, and I was like, wow, I remember that, but I guess I don't want to remember it. And when I would have my periods, they were insane. They were like, I would wake up and I would be crying and I could not move out of my bed. Just be still, and I feel almost like it was intense. It was so bad. I kind of remember those days. There was a time where like I even fell out of my bed to get out of my bed and stand up, because I couldn't actually force myself up out of my bed. I kind of just rolled and landed on the floor. But yeah, I remember, man, it was bad and really bad. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have had the same exact symptoms, which I feel for you, definitely. I would say around, I think I was like 13-ish, 12 and 13, I noticed that I was kind of like gaining weight, but only in my abdominal area. And mind you, I said I was about 13 years old. I was gaining weight in my abdominal area and trying to figure out why, because I'm not eating bad, I'm not eating too much. I was actually a very small eater when I was a kid. I knew something was wrong because I would be eating like a piece of chicken drumstick the entire day, and that's all I would eat for the entire day. I was full. I was like losing weight here, and you could see my face and you could see my collarbones, but my stomach kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I was trying to like figure out why it is that I'm losing weight everywhere else and not eating, and I'm going up pant size, and I keep telling my mom I need new clothes because my pants won't fit. So she kind of was looking at me one day when I was cooking, and yes, I did cook at 13. When I was cooking, she kind of looked at me and was like, are you okay? Because she started thinking things. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And she was like, are you, you know, what's going on there? Like, why is your stomach bigger? I didn't notice, I guess, because when you see yourself every day, you don't notice it. So we went to my annual doctor's appointment when I was 13. Even the doctor was like, you know, something is in your stomach. We don't know what it is, but something is in your stomach. And she flat out thought I was pregnant. She kept asking me a bunch of uncomfortable questions, and no, I had not had sex, by the way. No, and I was freaking out because I'm like, oh my god, is God like calling on me? Am I gonna have a child? And I didn't even have sex. The bad part about it is my parents were very disappointed in me. They thought I was pregnant, and you know, they took away my phones, and my dad started driving me to school and like all these stupid things. But I was like, you know what, whatever, I don't care, I'll deal with it because I need to figure out what's going on with me. And so it wasn't until like a month later when we had like all of our follow-ups and our ultrasounds and all these different things what was going on. And it was hard, I would say, because almost to the last second they thought I was pregnant. I guess the mass was so big, but mind you, it was about 7-8 pounds, this ovarian tumor that I ended up having. I guess when she went to listen to it, my stomach, thinking there was a heartbeat, I guess the mass was so big, she was saying it almost sounded like there was 2 heartbeats, and that's why she thought I was pregnant, because it was almost like bouncing off, the sound waves were almost bouncing off where she could hear it sounded like 2. And so that's why she thought I was pregnant. And it wasn't until like the ultrasound where she was like, there's a black mass, I don't really know what it is, there's just a mass there, a huge mass. And they only saw the tip of it, if that makes sense. So it was actually going like through me. It wasn't sitting upright, it wasn't sitting long ways, it was sitting from my belly button to my back. It was sitting like that. All they saw was basically the top of it. The surgery day, consultation comes, and the doctor's great. I go to this special children's hospital for surgery thing. It was like one of the best, top of the best hospitals, and I had a great surgeon doctor. He was so nice. I just remember him being so kind and so calm, and that calmness really helped me at that time because I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on, and it was my own body, and it was really scary to, you know, go through that. Before he went in there, he was like, you know, I asked him, I was like, well, what kind of cuts am I gonna have? What kind of scars am I gonna have? And how long do I have to heal? Because I was also going into high school, and I was being in the marching band, and I was doing extraneous work and exercise outside where we had to do like 50 push-ups a day, and we had to run around the track, and we had to stay really fit. And so I had asked him, of course, that's a concern of mine, so he was like, oh, it's only gonna be like a 1-inch incision, because I'm basically gonna go in there and kind of like suck it out with 1-inch incision. Okay, mind you, like I said, they didn't know how big this thing was. They only saw basically the head of it because it was going towards my back. And they didn't know that it was connected to one of my ovaries either. So I went to surgery day. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was ready, super tired to even go. They knocked me out, and I remember her saying, the last thing you're gonna remember before you wake up is this. And then I knocked out, which was so funny to me. Woke up, and I remember one of my close friends, Sophia, called me, and she was like a really good friend of mine that helped me do Bible studies and stuff. So she had called me. I was groggy. I don't think I said anything, but I just remember her talking to me, and my mom held the phone up to me. I was there for about a day, or I think I was there for 2 days in the hospital, because they ended up having to do a 6 to 7 inch C-section cut on me and removing one of my ovaries. I believe it's my left ovary. It was a little bit bigger of a surgery, and my mom was, I guess, freaking out because I think they said it was gonna be like 30-ish, 45 minutes, and it took like a 2-hour something, almost 3-hour surgery. I was in there with a bunch of pain medicine. Oh my gosh, I just remember hitting that button. Left side, my stomach was like super flat because my entire stomach was literally this tumor. It was just that, and I didn't eat, so I had nothing in me. I was just like really skinny. It was tough. I couldn't walk the first day. That night, every 2 hours I woke up in pain, and I was like crying and like, Mom, I can't. And it was every 2 hours. I remember my poor mom, my poor dad, waking them up to tell them that I'm hurting. And I remember the first day I tried to lift myself up, he was like, okay, push yourself on the bed and get up. So I was doing that, and as soon as I was up, and I was like, okay, I'm fine, I'm good, I can do this. And I stood up. Ooh, for the first time, the entire room like literally went like that. It was like shoo. And I sat back down and I was like, oh no, I can't do this. After this whole thing happened to me, nobody gave my mom really an answer as to why did this happen. It was kind of like, this is happening, we're gonna do surgery, we're gonna solve it, and that's it, that's all we're gonna give you. And it was like, come on, like, why did she get this tumor, and why is she having irregular periods? Like, nobody was really answering her, and I guess, I don't know, taking it serious. I have no idea. But it kind of shocked me knowing now that my doctor now, and she's a great women's doctor, said, you know, you could have had this your entire life, and that's probably why you got this huge ovarian cyst tumor thing that you had when I was 13. And I'm like, blows my mind that a doctor that deals with women's health, but like few blood works, few this, was like, here's all your answers. And I was like, I am so grateful for her, I really am. It was kind of like, I didn't know I had that. So my entire life I went with really irregular periods. It got even worse after I took birth control with, you know, when I got married, got off birth control, and I didn't have a period for probably almost a year after I had taken off birth control. And I was like, okay, I've heard that that can happen, so whatever. We're going on 3 years married, and I would say in the last 3 years, with that 1 year of not having a period, so combined with that, because I think it was like 9 months, I probably had a real period, like a real period. I would say I probably had like 6 or 7 real periods in the last 3 years. That's bad. So I would say the last 4 months, like you kind of heard from my last video that we were updating you on, the last 4 months they've been really it's been really bad. And the reason why I figured something was wrong was because of my mental health. As weird as that sounds, I have not been myself at all the last at least 4 months, where it hit me really hard. Like, I was already slightly changing, but the last 4 months it kind of made me completely turn into a different person. And I notice it from the inside, if that makes sense. It's almost like a second point of view, where it's like I'll say something and then in my mind I'm like, why did I say it like that? Or why did I react like that? And then just keeps coming out, and I'm not sure. But I had talked to my doctor about that too when she was telling me that I had PCOS, and she said your hormonal imbalances are so bad, and your high levels of testosterone, by the way, is another symptom. I have high testosterone. I think the average testosterone level is like 0.5 to 3. And I think mine's at like 19, which is pretty high. Now, high levels of testosterone can cause insulin resistance, I believe, which is the weight gain, constantly wanting to eat, constantly craving. I mean, it's like not even just like a normal crave. It's like, I am going to kill somebody if I don't get some sugar or carbs in my body. It's like I've always been a sweet tooth, but it's to the extreme now. It's like, if I see something, I need to eat it. Yesterday, for the first time, I literally ate breakfast, and as soon as I took that last bite, I had that deep, hollow feeling in my stomach like I haven't eaten in 3 days. And I'm like, what? Like, I literally just finished eating, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I know what's going on, but how ridiculous is it? I would say right after the birth control, actually, or right before the birth control, somewhere between there, I started getting really bad anxiety. I had my first anxiety attack in my apartment with my husband. He was not there. I was home alone, and I was literally I know I say literally a lot, so I'm sorry. I was crying all day from when I woke up, cleaned the entire house, crying. I had my sister-in-law pick me up because I thought maybe having people around me would help, and I was just in a mood. Like, I didn't want to talk to her, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just like upset basically, and then I was like, just please take me home. I was only at her house for an hour. I was like, just take me home. Went back, and as soon as I closed the door, tearing, crying, drastic crying, like a lot of crying on, and I couldn't breathe and blah blah blah. And I'm not trying to get all religious on you guys, but honestly what helped was reading the Bible and listening to some of my Bible-based music. It literally calmed me, and that was the only thing that saved me that day. So it was literally in God's hands there. After that, it was slowly like I've always had anxiety. Also, the last 3 months, it's been a couple of months, I would say like the last 6 months, 6 or 7 months, I've slightly gotten like depression, what I would think is depression. And I asked my doctor about it, and she said yes, it's called, I think it's called active depression, where it's like you can go on your day and it's all kind of obvious, it's all internal, but you don't show it as much as just like normal depression. I have no idea how she explained it to me, but she said yes, and that could be happening because of your PCOS and your hormonal imbalances, and you're just like not in the right mental state. Depression has hit me hard within the last 3 to 4 months. I was really good at hiding that I was sad, and it was a sad that I can't even describe. It was just always there. And I'd be at work. I work with patients, obviously, like I told you in my last one, I'm an apprentice optician. There's patients that noticed it. There was coworkers that have been telling me, are you okay? Like, you're not yourself. And I'm telling people, I'm not myself. I've had to apologize to people because I have been answering rude or not acting myself, and it was so sad. Quick story, there was a coworker of mine who I had accidentally just been like, I don't know what she said, but I basically said, you don't know me. And I said it in such an attitude way, and it shocked everybody in the room. And in my head I was like, wow, why did I have to say it like that? Everybody left, she was there, and I had to apologize to her. I was like, I'm so sorry that I said it that way. I don't mean that. I just mean that I've been going through so much, and I am not myself, that you don't know me, because I have not been myself. And this coworker started to cry. I was like so heartbroken with myself, because she was like, I thought you didn't like me. And I was like, I never want anybody to feel that way. That was a kind of a wake-up call that I have. I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful of how I'm acting. It's just really hard to do it now. It was so easy before to like mask it, and now it's like in the forefront. I'm nervous, and I'm excited about all the things that I have to do with my medicines and everything. She said it might react a little bit different. I might get my symptoms a little harder because I only have one ovary. It's not like spreading to 2, it's all going to 1. Me and Derek are not trying to have a kid right now, but we do have to have a backup plan on what is going to go on if we do want to have a kid in the future. I have to take these medications. I forgot the names of them, but one's gonna make me have a period. She said it's gonna be like a heavy flow and a lot of cramping, because she said that the average person with PCOS has a period every at least 2 to 3 months, and I don't have one for like 5, 6, 7 a year sometimes. So she was like, it's gonna hit you differently. Everybody's different. So I'm gonna go through that for about a week, and I will update you guys on that. Also, I'm gonna go on metformin, I believe. I did look up some symptoms on that. She said I will get a lot of the nausea, dizziness, diarrhea, which is disgusting. The reason they're trying to have a period, basically per medicine, is they want to check my fallopian tubes. Or my fallopian tube. I don't know if I have 1 or 2. I don't know. I gotta ask my mom, because she has the surgery papers if they took it out. I have no idea. They want to check if the flow of blood is still entering and coming out of that, I think is what she said. It's nerve-wracking, because it all can lead to like ovarian cancer, or it can lead to endometrial cancer, as she said, which is a little bit nerve-wracking because I do live with stress. She was like, stress will make all these medications and all these things we're trying to do, it'll just reject it. If you're stressed out, it'll just reject everything, and we'll go through circles and circles and circles trying to do everything, and it's not gonna work because you're stressed out. Nerve-wracking, it's a little giving me anxiety. I've already cried in the shower about it, but just to be completely real with you guys, the thing that hit me the hardest is knowing that I could have had this my entire life and nobody told me about it. When I called my mom to tell her what I have, she was like, wow, you have literally given me the answer that I've been looking for years for you. But I didn't know that she was trying to look so hard. She would always try to be like, here's a planner, write down your period, tell me exactly when this is happening. She was trying hard, and I feel so bad because as a kid I'm like, this is so annoying, I don't want to do it. Yeah, that is pretty much all for my story. This is only the introduction. I know this is a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, leave me some feedbacks if you guys have had any of these symptoms, if you guys have been going through these things. The reason I wanted to put this video out is this month is PCOS awareness month. At first when I found out, I was ashamed. I was like, oh my god, how could I have this? If I don't say anything, if we don't say anything, we're not gonna go anywhere. And I want to make sure that everybody's aware that this is out there, and this happens to 1 in 10 women, and it's not something that we should be ashamed of. It's something we should talk about. It's something that we should figure out how we are going to work this out. We need to build a community, and I want to make sure that if you have PCOS, or if you think you might have PCOS, do some blood work. Ask your doctor if you do. So definitely talk to your doctor about it and figure out if you do or do not have it, or maybe a friend, family, mother has it. But if they do, please give them love, because they are going through some things, even if it's not physical. Everything is internal. Just because they look healthy from the outside doesn't mean that they're doing good on the inside. So please give love to everybody that has any kind of problems. It doesn't have to be PCOS, but it could be anything. Spread love around there, and I will actually see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe to follow this chapter of my life, and we love you guys. Of course, put that notification button on, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.